Hey guys, welcome back to the Girlfriends and Goals podcast YouTube channel. My name is Samaria, and I'm joined by my best friend and co-host Miosha. And today we're reviewing Married at First Sight, season 17, episode 10. But before we
Mhm.
get into that, please make sure that you are subscribed to our channel. Give this video a thumbs up, and of course, meet us in the comments so we could talk about the shenanigans from this episode. All right.
Oh gosh.
So we will go ahead and get started with Lauren and Orion. Like, let's just get them out of the way. Because they were on the screen, so we have to talk about them. What were
Why?
your thoughts?
Why? Seriously, like, Lauren, I don't understand why you're continuing to show up to film. I Getting through these scenes with him is so hard because I feel like they keep rehashing the same things. It seems like Lauren is looking for some type of closure. I'm not even sure she wants an apology.
Yeah. I don't even know if closure is it. So I can understand because for us, it's like this has been going on for a month now. But for her, I understand it's still very fresh. So I get it. However, I think she showed up for one reason and one reason only during this episode, and that was to air this man out. Like, I
Oh, well,
think
I
she
thought you were gonna say to show off her cute hairstyle.
it was cute. It was cute. But I think she came to air him out because even when he was talking, she's
Mm,
like, no, let's talk about it. Or I'm going to call you out
mhm.
on this. And so I think she showed up this episode to pull up the receipts. The previews have me a little confused, but
That, and I think to set the record straight, maybe to the crew
mhm,
of, hey, I did try. I was not the one
yeah.
who initiated this, which her being like, oh, well, what did he say? Like, oh, well, I wanted to end the divorce. I mean, I wanted to end the marriage. So,
Right.
I mean, I get it and that you don't want to come across as a quitter, but I also was just uncomfortable. Like, girl, why are you sitting there continuing to let this man be like, yep, it was all my choice. It was all on me. And I don't want
Yeah.
you.
And the one thing I would have changed about her showing up was the
Mm,
tears. Like if she would have done everything she did, but without the tears, I would have been like, okay, fine. But because there were the tears, and like you said last week, it's around the anniversary of her mom's death. So I know there's a lot going on and it's still fresh for her. But I could have done without the tears, but I
mhm.
understand that naturally she's in a predicament where, you have to sit there and see everybody, no matter how trash their matches are, and they are trash. But no matter how trash their matches are, they're like, oh, but we're trying to get on with the process. And it's like, man, I wish I had a chance. So I can
Mhm.
get that type of, emotion from her. But
And I
yeah.
also wonder, was she, like sometimes you're so angry
Hmm.
and mad that like tears come.
Tears come.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
that that was more it than her really being broken up about Orion, especially when she was talking about the apology. He says, "Oh, that's my truth." She calls him a gaslighter. So
Which he is.
yeah, she still really didn't get, I think, what she was looking for. Like that last scene where she like went to the ground and was crying and someone came to
I
comfort her. I was
know.
just like, girl,
Not on
no,
camera.
no.
But what can you do? I hate it when he said, I don't know what I need to hold myself accountable for. I was like, okay, moving on.
Is this even a person you would want to be married to? Come on.
I wouldn't even want to be friends with a person like that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so there's that. That's Lauren and
Mhm.
Ryan. They show previews of them back on our screens, and I just really wish they would cut it out. It's done.
It really is done, and I don't know if she really is broken up about this based off of the teasers. I This just seems a bit traumatizing.
I wouldn't even talk to this person.
Like, mm, mm,
Brennan and Becca and Austin.
mhm.
Okay. My good sis is very frustrated. She is using every opportunity that she can to bring up some type of physical something with this man. So that was really awkward to watch.
Because it was very one-sided.
Very
Mm.
one-sided. I
Yeah.
I don't know. So Austin is clearly I think he cares for her as a person. I think he has friend zoned her kind of in his head. Like I think he
Mm-hmm.
knows he's not going past a certain point. When they were in the group, he said something about, "Oh yeah, I'm still figuring out certain things." And I wish he would have said more because I would
Mm-hmm.
know what those things are, especially because he's been so anti talking about the big things. He's like, "Well, I just want to get to know her and then we can talk about the serious things later." So, what are the things that you're still trying to figure out?
Yeah, and how do you really get to know someone without it seems contradictory.
Hmm.
Like she what he said, oh, I want to get to know her heart. But I don't know, how can you get to that without digging deeper?
And
I
why?
don't know.
Why if something bigger could potentially take her out of your life and then you guys aren't even in each other's space anymore? I don't get him, but I think he and Brennan are two sides of the same coin where they're very conscious about their image, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And
I
I
could
think
see that.
he happens to like the person he's with as a person, and so that's why we're
Mhm.
seeing it manifest in a different way.
Yeah, I did see him give her a kiss. I think when they were at the store, he went in and gave her a kiss. So I think
You were
he's
watching for that.
yeah, I wanted to see like was there some type of reciprocation, especially after the game.
Yeah.
That was hard for me to watch because it's like, girl, get a hint, clue. He knows. This man is 30 something. He's 31 or 2. He knows.
Yes. Even
Mm-hmm.
with Dr. P, okay, so I'll say before the Dr. Pia thing, when they had their pair talk, so he sat down and talked with Brennan, and he said he doesn't have the feeling that they have to deal with everything right now. But Becca said in her thing with Emily that she feels like they do need to, and she's just being patient. Okay, I just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah.
Can we talk about them with Dr. Pia?
Yeah, we can get to that.
Okay. So I appreciated that Dr. Pia said, "Oh, the connection looks good. Is that how it really is?" I'm glad that she didn't just go based on, "Oh, well, it looks good, so it must be good." I'm glad that
Mm-hmm.
she dug a little bit deeper. So I appreciated her line of questioning.
Yeah, but I could tell she wasn't buying what he was trying to sell.
Is anybody like he wasn't selling it very well.
Yeah, what did he say? Like, oh, I really like her, but
Mhm.
he wants to wait for more of an emotional connection.
Yes.
But he doesn't know.
He wants it to be more special than banging. And she called him out, like, okay, because I'm not getting that vibe.
Mm-mm.
And nobody is. So what makes you feel like it would just be that? And
And
he, go ahead.
how could you get to an emotional connection going back to what when him and Brennan were talking
Hmm.
without opening certain doors? So it's
Yeah.
almost like he has a wall up while still saying, like, oh, but I need to wait before I can let those walls down. But you're not doing anything
Yeah,
to get the walls down. Yeah. That doesn't
exactly. I put that he avoided that conversation like a plague. So there was one point where he says, "Oh, well, let's not get her any more riled up than she already is." Like, excuse me? Which honestly, Becca, you could take that as a hint. Stop bringing stuff up. But
yeah.
also, why would he say that? Like, so that there's frustration there. And then he had the audacity to say, "Oh, we can discuss other things." I don't think he's interested in being a giver. I think he's okay with being a receiver.
Mm. Yeah, what did Becca say? She says that she can empathize, but I think up until a point. I
Hmm.
think she is seeing what we're seeing. There could be some denial there and hope that
Hmm.
it isn't a bigger issue than what we know it to be,
Yeah.
obviously. But yeah, he was definitely avoiding that conversation. And even when Dr. P was trying to say, okay, well, what are you open to? Like, while we're here, we might as well talk about it so there's no guessing. He refused to
Hmm.
say because he's
Absolutely.
really, I don't really think he is open. I think he was just playing nice.
I agree. I said, I think I find that to be very questionable. What
Yeah.
other things are you interested in? Is he really? And so that's why I say, like, I think he would, to like pacify her, be open to receiving, but I
Mm.
don't necessarily see him reciprocating in that way.
No, I wrote down that Dr. Pia could see straight through Austin. This is
He's
cute,
transparent at
but
this point.
Yeah. And what did he say? Like, oh, this has also been an issue with past girlfriends. Really?
I doubt it.
I don't believe it. Y'all tell us in the comments. Do y'all believe it?
He's not believable at this point. So he's not selling whatever he's trying to sell very well. Claire and Cameron.
Mm-hmm. We're flying through because this season is giving us nothing, y'all. I
No,
mean,
our I was gonna say our friend, but she kind of is.
yeah, she's our friend on the internet in
Yeah,
our
she is.
head.
It's El Raimi. She was like, the last video was 38 minutes. She said, I know y'all really over it at this point because we
Y'all.
usually talk for like 50 minutes and it was 38 last week.
Well, good thing we got Vlogmas going on. So if y'all still want more content, y'all could just go watch. I mean, I feel like our Am I the A-hole reactions are juicier than this season.
These
So
episodes, right? But I feel like we'll get more from Claire and Cameron than the other two, and
mhm.
Brennan and Emily. Okay, so Claire and Cameron start out. I guess they woke up and they couldn't even agree about opening a
Everything is a fight. Lord have mercy.
opening a window. She's like, yeah, so I was really hot and wanted to open a window. He's like, well, you never asked me. She's like, I said it 5 times. So I don't know. They're never on the same page. It's never the same story with these two. She's saying she asked 5 times. He said, I didn't hear you say anything once. Who is lying?
We need more cameras with these two.
Yes. Because at this point, both of them are suspicious.
Yeah. So in that conversation in the bed,
Mm-hmm.
he brings up, hey, like the conversation we had yesterday with my friend,
Yeah.
like that's big news to me. And he says that he didn't realize that he hadn't communicated that the dad was sick.
Okay. So I I found this a little bit strange, and he tried to clear it up on the after party. So on the after party, he said that he and Claire had a conversation where he mentioned that his dad wasn't able to get on a flight. And so he thought that she received it as, okay, I understand your dad has some type of like long-term illness where he can't be on a flight forever. But he gave her a pass. He said, oh, I can excuse that. And maybe she just figured, oh, he's sick right now, but it's something that, is temporary and he'll get over it. And so I'm like, okay, so then you didn't tell her the gravity of the situation. Because on the after party, he was making it seem like, well, I was surprised by her surprise. How?
I'm sorry. If someone says, "Oh, they're not able to fly right now," that my mind doesn't jump to you're on your
Terminal.
deathbed. Like
Yes.
it also doesn't jump to the fact that you blatantly lied that your parents knew you were getting married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so what he said on the after party was really juicy last night. I'm so glad. I
Mm-hmm.
don't always watch it, but I'm glad I
Mm-hmm.
did last night. But he said that he's really careful not to spring things up on his dad because when his mom divorced his dad's lung collapsed from the emotional toll. And so he feels like he can't tell even people around his dad because he doesn't want to risk it getting back to his dad and then it taking an emotional toll on him.
So
And then
you'd
causing some physical.
rather lie to your brand new wife because okay, say all of that is true.
Yeah.
All he had to say was, the situation with my parents is pretty complicated. I don't want to get into it on our wedding day. Like, I'd really love to enjoy this day, but we'll definitely talk about it tomorrow.
Yes.
Not, oh yeah, they know, and we could have a wedding in New Zealand, or wherever you're from. Like these, you flat out lied and you sprinkled a little bit extra on.
But it makes me feel like obviously he's not taking this process seriously because if that were his concern, I don't know that he would have signed up for a process like this in the first place. And so it makes me question his commitment to this process. It
Mm-hmm.
seems to me like he figured, oh, I could get in here, have some fun, maybe gain some followers, which people on these shows aren't doing much anymore, right? They're not gaining many followers or subscribers. But I think he figured he could come in, do that, and then his family would never have to know about it. I don't think I
Wow.
don't think someone who is as concerned about their parents' well-being
Hmm.
would choose this method.
Well, he did say something to the effect of that he already grieved the
Yeah.
dad's situation.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that means to him he's already gone or it is what it is, or I'm
Yeah.
not fully sure what he meant by that. I guess part of it could be it just is what it is and I still have to move forward with my life
He
and
did
I
say
don't
that because it's been
bring
going on his whole life. He said it happened when he was 13 and now he's what, 30
yeah.
something. So I think it's just like, oh, this is the norm. But like in doing this process, you had to know at some point the family thing would come up. So if that were your concern, either don't do a process like this where someone might have to pressure you to tell your family
Mhm.
or be straight up about it, like you said.
Yeah, either he's not taking it seriously or he's extremely naive in how this could alter his perception. Like if I
Yeah,
were in this process and someone was moving like this, it's like, well, what could I really trust you with if you'll lie about something like this?
exactly.
And yeah, I mean, obviously, from her perspective, it's no guarantee the a level of closeness. I think she's open to the fact of, okay, some people aren't as close with their families. It is what it is, but maybe not you lying and embellishing
Yeah.
the story.
I will say something that frustrated me was Claire cutting him off every time he tried to get the story out. And in this scene, she was cutting him off to show empathy, but it's like, wait
Let
your
him
turn.
talk. Hmm.
Stop cutting him off. So that frustrated me to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. So he said he wants to feel wanted by her, and her body language and actions say no. I agree with this. I do think her body language says no, and I'm sure she has her
Mhm.
reasons. And yeah, but I get it that he doesn't necessarily want to be in a situation where this person doesn't want me.
What was interesting is that she said he isn't doing anything to turn her off, and I beg to differ.
Why? What do you think?
Him trolling her, I don't think
Okay.
that that's doing it for her. I
Mm,
think the conversation with the dad, I think them just being so opposite on everything. Not that he's doing that on purpose, he is
yeah.
who he is, but there are things I think that are turning her off. So
Yeah.
I think she was just playing nice in that moment by not wanting to go too deep into it.
I agree. In the group meeting, Cameron said something like, "Oh, we pretty much don't agree on anything." There were no positives there. They were reaching to find reasons why the experts matched them together. I think the only thing that they came up with was, oh, I think they saw that we could challenge each other, which I understand that there's some level of challenge that is
Mhm.
necessary. But if that's the only thing, if that's the only silver lining,
He when he first started though, he was like, "Oh, I'm head over heels for Claire." She was almost gonna cry. So he kind of butters her up, but then be like, "Oh, but we don't have nothing in common." Very odd.
I don't know that he knows what head over heels is. Like, I think he's just saying things that sound good.
In that moment, I'm like, Cameron, are you just trying to get some? That's what it seems like.
And you know he is. It's him and Becca. Both of them are like, we need something. Give us something. They're begging at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. I have always found it weird. Cameron's obsession. I don't want to use obsession, but his concern about Becca and Austin. Like there's
Mhm.
something there. In the beginning, he was really upset that Becca and Austin seemed to be getting along. You remember that? Like on the
Mhm. Like,
phone?
oh, they seem to be really connected.
And he
Mhm.
was upset that he and Claire weren't. And then now he said something like, yeah, at least like we're not like them. Like Becca and Austin have issues, but it seems like they're not talking about it. And I'm like, I don't know. The comparison
Mhm.
with the couples for them, it's like it's the only thing that they have,
Mhm.
only thing that they can agree on.
You think he might be into Becca?
No, I don't think Cameron's into
No?
I
Oh,
think
okay.
Cameron's into Cameron on this show.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah. Worried about the wrong thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I just found it weird that I understand couples are going to talk about, oh, they
Mhm.
have this going on, you know, but because he's been like this since the beginning, I'm like, okay, it's getting a little weird.
Mm. He only got one more time.
Yeah, to bring up Becca and Austin. He did say something, to be fair. He did say something about Emily and Brennan, but the attention to Becca and Austin is always
Mhm.
strange to me. Yeah.
And it could be, the guys are talking behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So it could be fueling some of that.
Yeah, that's
So,
possible.
yeah.
So he said he was inspired by Orion, of all people to be inspired by.
I'm focusing on me, baby.
Right. He said, I was inspired to put my needs first. And I,
What did
I
he say their long-term viability isn't there?
I agree. Like this is one couple where I'm just like, yeah, put us all out of our misery. You
Mm-mm.
know? They took their rings off. And Dr. Pia, of course, commented on it. Um, I think it would be cool to watch them do the things that Dr. Pia recommended.
Mhm.
I know that she's an expert, and so she's trying to do her job of just like seeing how this can go. And I am fatigued with their serious conversations. So I know they must be worn out,
Mhm.
having all these serious conversations. So I appreciated her saying, okay, like, what all have you guys tried? Maybe let's put all these like serious conversations to the side and
Mhm.
just get some chemistry
Mhm.
going.
Mhm.
So I appreciated her recommendations. I don't think it will help at
No,
all.
because Claire doesn't think she can trust him. Mm-mm. Nope, it's just not there. It's compounding. It's the lack of friends. The family is nowhere to be seen.
Mhm.
He trolls her. She's controlling herself. They're repelling way too much.
And also, and we've mentioned this before, like Claire is not without fault.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, she's very, very judgy,
Nitpicky, you
and I
know.
do think she has pulled back. Probably
Mm.
because of the trust thing. And I will say there were some things revealed during the after party that might contribute to that, but I want to make sure that we talk about just him really wanting to be out and saying like, do you see a future with me, asking her just very pointedly. I don't know, some people didn't like from Twitter, don't didn't like that he
Mhm.
pressed her on that. I didn't like it or hate it. I can see why though. It seems like they're in a
Mm.
situation that's going nowhere fast and he's just ready to be done with it. And
Mhm.
I understand like the long-term viability comment that he made, it's very accurate. So why are they wasting each other's time? I could potentially see us losing another couple this season.
Yeah. I I feel like I'm indifferent with it. I could
Mm,
understand him wanting to know, like, is there any hope? What did he
mhm.
says? Like, he basically wanted to know, like, do you want me? I think maybe it was the way he asked. I don't know.
And then she got mad at him cutting her off, but girl,
Girl.
you
Yeah,
be
he
doing
wants
it
to
more than
know,
him.
do you want me to stay? He wants to feel wanted,
Yeah.
but I could understand why she couldn't give him that answer. Because I don't know if she wants to want someone who's moving the way that he's moving.
Yeah, it's not attractive that he's not. I think was it Emily or somebody said like I just want someone who wants me for me. Like I want someone who's sure of me. And I don't
Mhm.
think that she gets that he's sure about her. And I
Mhm.
think he's like, oh, well, if we move forward, I could probably get closer to being sure. And for her, it seems like I need you to be sure about me before take
Mhm.
that step. And completely understandable. So I think that they're going nowhere fast. And I understand his desire to check out. I understand him saying to Dr. Pia, I don't know that I can give you a yes right now
Mhm.
because I don't know that I'm even interested in trying to be friends when I know that this process was for romance and we're not
Mhm.
getting romance. So,
Yeah, what he says he doesn't want to get too attached.
yeah. Okay. After party stuff. So
Okay.
these clips are on like online. You guys can find
Mhm.
them. But if you watch the after party, there was some stuff. First of all, this was Cameron's first time on the after party. And apparently
Mm,
Brennan's second time, because he didn't want to come back for whatever reasons. So it was
mm,
Cameron, Brennan, and Lauren
mm,
who were on
mm,
this episode of the After Party. So Cameron was saying that he doesn't think that Claire finds him attractive. And every time that he tries to, initiate something, he gets turned down. So the rejection is like getting to him, which we can all
mhm,
clearly see.
mhm.
And Lauren spoke up and said, well, I was under a different impression. And so she said that Claire said that early on, Cameron made a comment about her body. And Cameron was
Go
trying
ahead, go ahead and say specifically.
well, Cameron was trying to say, like, oh no, she is my type. She is my type. And Lauren's like, that's
Mhm.
not what we're getting. She said that Claire said that Cameron said that her butt was too big and he couldn't see himself like finishing if they were to be together.
That that is so specific. Like, what do you think? Like, what do you think?
And that's the thing. I don't ever know who's lying between the two of them. Like that's what's so frustrating. They're never on the same page. It's like, who is telling the truth?
I do remember. I think early on, was it right before the honeymoon? He said that he thought he wanted to be paired with someone who was taller. I
Tall
don't know
and
if you
slender or
and
something like
slender or something like that.
that.
So I that's the only physical, I guess, reference I've heard so far. I just want to know, how did y'all even get to, like, how
The
does that
day
even
after
come
the
up?
wedding, too.
How does that even come up?
And so Lauren was like, I'm not saying that you said that because I wasn't there, but that's what was brought to me.
Mhm.
And so Cameron said that Claire has expressed that he's not her type, that she likes Black men who are specifically the part that he harped on was who are built differently, like, I guess, so more athletic build
Mm.
with the muscles and things like that. And he's like, but that's not true because all her exes are white. And so I'm like, well, now, Claire, you have 24 hours to respond because what is going on here?
Once again, they're complete opposite. We don't know what the truth is. And how did we get to this conversation?
I wouldn't be surprised though if she is attracted to Black men, just because as he was saying it, Lauren almost completed his sentence, and it seems like Lauren and Claire are pretty close from what I've seen
Mm,
in the episodes. Um, and so I think when Lauren was able to complete his sentence, that confirmed, oh, maybe that is something that she's interested in. Just because it's something she's interested in, that
mm,
doesn't mean that that's who she's paired up with in the past. Maybe they haven't been checking for her and she wants them to. Like, I don't know
yeah.
the details, but he thinks she's lying because her exes aren't Black.
Yeah, but you could be attracted to people that aren't your exes. Oh, okay.
So I don't know with these two. I don't know that Cameron would say something that specific about like the whole not finishing comment. Like that's a lot to say to someone on the second day. He was very like he was more abrasive, I think, during that time of the season, like the second
Yeah.
and third day. So it might be possible that he said that. I want to hear a clear side, but
Oh, I can't wait to the reunion. We need more on this.
so crazy like that. This would be the stuff. Girl, did you on the clip, Keisha Napoleon was like,
What? Who
I
said
don't know what's
that?
going on. But it was a lot even for her. So
Mm.
yeah. That's
Ooh.
all I have on camera. You guys let us know. Did you guys watch the after party?
Hmm.
What do you make of these comments? Who's telling the truth? Who's not?
I will say, because of his trolling energy, I wouldn't be shocked if he did say something about her body, but I don't know
That it
if
was
I
to take
believe
it
that
seriously.
is he that bold? Nothing about Claire, even if she said, "Oh, I'm usually attracted to Black men," or whatever,
Yeah.
that isn't anything specific about his body. You could be attracted to multiple different types of people.
Yosha, please. It is kind of it's almost like when Clint said that I like more slender women, and Gina, was slim thick. So I feel like it's a
Um,
comment that a man would feel some type of way about. You're saying you're not it's not even about him being black, it's about the athletic thing. It seems to
oh,
be
the athletic
I
thing.
think that's what hurt him,
Mm,
just based on how he was presenting it during the after
mm.
party.
Okay, and I was thinking like, well, she could be attracted to multiple, like people with multiple races and cultures and backgrounds. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
Okay.
Ooh,
Let us know what you guys think, Emily and Brennan.
ooh, Lord, I feel like we got a ticking time bomb on our hands with this one.
Is it ticking at this point? I feel like
Do you think it don't went off fully?
not fully, not fully. Oh yeah, okay, it's still ticking. So it starts off with her apologizing again for the previous night, which Emily seems like such a nice person. I think I've
She
said that before, but
is.
she seems very nice. So she apologized again. He admitted that he could have handled things better, but said, but I can't apologize for it because so therein lies the problem already.
And what did she say? I'm fine with her apologizing again,
Hmm.
just to start fresh and clean. But she
Hmm.
says, "Oh, I'll always take your side."
I wrote that down. I was like, Emily, you don't have to do that. Like, don't be throwing yourself on the sword over what your friends did when this man didn't even think much of you to start with, you know?
Mm. And still
So
don't, I don't think. But
yeah, it's a him problem. So I'll always take your side. No, he'd be wrong a lot of times. You don't have to feel
hmm
like you always have to. And if he can't be challenged by his partner, if he can't be corrected, that's a him problem.
yeah, I think he thinks he's more above reproach than he actually is.
He said at the group thing that there wasn't a romantic bond, and so he wanted to be honest with everybody, which I don't think anybody was thinking that that there was a romantic bond.
Well, I think I took that as they saw them on the honeymoon. Things seemed
Mm,
fine. I
okay.
saw him making that announcement more of, what did I say? Setting the stage. So
Mm,
as they hear more, it's not like shocking.
I see.
They understand where it's coming from a bit and why. Like, oh, by the way, y'all, like this isn't jiving. So
Yeah. Okay. Fair. I don't know that I agree. So when Becca and Emily did their one-on-one, I it was giving me Becca's the friend who will lie to her friends. Just not to hurt their feelings. Because she
mm,
said something at the beginning that was like, he's definitely attracted to you. And I'm like, you don't know that. You do not know that. Because he
yeah.
clearly is not. And so I'm like, why would you even say that to her? And then later on, it did change to, well, even if he's not, I hope you know that you are very attractive and that doesn't change your view of yourself. But I just wish she wouldn't have come in from the beginning because that's probably
Mhm.
what Emily's been hearing. And that's what she's been absorbing is, oh, well, there probably is some attraction there. There was some before. So there probably is still some
Mhm.
lingering or whatever. And it's like, no, if he's giving you start from scratch energy,
Mhm.
forget everything that you thought and take him at face value right now.
I don't think she really knew what to say.
True.
Yeah, I don't think she really knew what to say. Emily says that he's shutting her off. I feel like when Emily talks about Brendan, she always starts pretty positive, and
Always.
then she gives the real. So I could also see how, depending on the full context of the conversation,
Mhm.
Becca could have been leaning on, well, it could be there. Because
Hmm.
even when they sat with Dr. Pia, she did the same thing.
She started off positive.
Very
Yeah, she
positive.
did.
She said something like things are back on track, and then something else, and then she says, oh, but the lack of romance is there. It's like,
So
girl, are things back on track?
when she said back on track, I think like so he's moved in, like from the last time with the Pastor Cal meeting. That's what I took it to mean. I guess that's what I hoped she meant. Like
Mm-hmm.
things are back on track in the sense that we're moving forward with the process. Um, Before we get to Dr. Pia, two
Mm-hmm.
things. One thing that Brennan said, and the other, like something that Emily expressed. So Brennan said to Austin that he's not attracted to her. And in his past, he's been immediately attracted to people, but divorce isn't an option. And so it's like, okay, you don't feel like there's chemistry, but you're willing to stay in this forever. Like that doesn't seem believable to me. But he keeps saying the divorce isn't an option thing.
I'm getting crisis actor from this guy. Like nothing about him seems
Genuine.
real. So it's like, oh, you're going to stay in a marriage where you can't even be honest with the person, even off camera. Because then Emily could say, yeah, we had a conversation about it.
Off
No,
camera, yeah.
it's giving crisis actor. I'm not buying it. Mm-mm.
And then she said, this is the point where she said, this is why I didn't date because I need someone who's sure of me. And I actually get that 100%. Like before, like don't come at me like I'm supposed to be auditioning for your attention. Like make sure you saw something that interested you and you're just trying to explore that more. But don't come at me and now I have to be like singing the song,
Mm-hmm.
doing the dances just to keep your attention on
Mm-hmm.
me. And so I fully get that. And I hope that after this divorce, because it has to be, there's no
Mm-hmm.
way, but I hope that after this divorce, she keeps that energy like, okay, is this man sure of his interest in me? And then we can like grow on that or explore on that, whatever. So I
Yeah.
hope she keeps that. But I hated to see her break down over that. And her saying that's why she didn't date. Like, girl,
Yeah. Gotta
you gotta
date the
let that
concept.
go. You gotta try something, right? Like,
Yeah, clearly the married at first sight thing isn't working. One thing I wrote down in that conversation is that she keeps saying, like, oh, my lack of relationship experience, my first relationship. And I'm like, no, Emily, girl, this man has relationship experience and you see how he's acting. I mean, your lack of relationship experience to me isn't what's driving the issue
yes,
here. She seems to be very open, flexible, nice, all
very.
the things. Not that she's perfect, but I want her to stop referencing her lack of relationship experience in the context of these conversations because I think it's a bit of a distraction.
But
Just
you know how when you don't have experience, like you don't know to trust your instinct. So like for us, for viewers, we're looking at it and we're like, yes, your instinct is so right. But for her,
mm-hmm,
it's probably like, well, I've never done this before, so I don't have enough of a track record to reference to know for sure, hey, get out of
mm-hmm.
this because it's terrible. You know,
Or
like
it could be me.
yeah, like she doesn't have
Yeah.
enough experience to trust herself in this whole
Yeah.
decision making process. And so that's what I think it is.
Yeah.
After this, hopefully she realizes, oh no, whatever I was suspecting, like whatever is making me go like this all the time,
Mm-hmm.
because that's her go-to look. It's like,
Like,
you know, like I hope she gets like, or if you gotta look at somebody like that, you're
mm.
onto something.
And that's what Dr. Pia, well, we're not there yet,
We could go
but
there now.
go ahead and go, girl.
Whew. Okay. So Dr. Pia be listening. She be trying to get to the bottom of stuff. When she said, can you put into words why you're not feeling chemistry? Is there something that's turning you off? Which on the after party, he admits to something that was turning him off. Yes.
But he never, but does he say what though?
Okay, so at on the after party, he says, she was saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, I get ghosted a lot, and I always have these one night stands, and I always this and I always that." And those things made him question: Is she really serious about this? Is this something that she's interested in? Is it something that she's ready for? And so apparently that's what was turning him off. Turning him off. He did not say that in the meeting with Dr. Pia. He
And
said nothing.
so I'm sorry.
Hmm.
If that's the reason, supposedly,
Hmm.
you had this type of reaction over that.
But
Oh,
see, the after party is filmed later, so maybe he has more vocabulary that he didn't have during Dr. Pia's meeting.
but the way that he was making it sound, when she asked him to put it into words,
Hmm.
he was like, "Oh well, I don't want to do that to her. I don't want to embarrass her." Essentially,
He said,
but
let's be mindful of Emily here. And
Something's not adding up.
Dr. Pia said, I'm mindful of Emily. Like that's my job. And then this whole back and forth. Dr. Pia got some patience because I don't know that I would have been able to sit there and and take that.
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, I'm trying to help her. It's just a look. Oh, that's just her. That's just it's like let me hear if that's just her, that's fine, but let me hear it from her, not you. Stop trying to interject.
It's almost as if he's trying to control the narrative that she's putting out there, that she would put out there. So he's
Absolutely.
like, "Oh, no, no, no. Like, let's get on the same page here
Hmm.
about what you're going to say."
Hmm.
I'm getting like control the narrative vibe in that whole scene.
Yeah,
Dr. P is like, "What is going on here?"
it was
What I
very
asked her wasn't even anything super crazy. Just tell me,
why you looking like that.
why are you looking like that? Say more. And he's like, it's almost, I don't know, like, oh, remember what we talked about? Like he wanted to have a
Uh,
one off, like, remember now, like you would give your friend a look or
yeah.
we need to circle here before you give an answer. I don't know.
Hmm.
Seemed very controlling, unnecessarily at that.
And the part that got me was, well, I'm just going to help her be comfortable moving forward. You can't even help her when the experts aren't here. How you going to help her now? And then, but this is my wife, so I want to make sure she ain't been your wife since the honeymoon based on your actions. Now all of a sudden, this is my wife, and
You didn't even want to move in.
only when, right. So when it's convenient and when you're trying to control something, oh, this is my wife and I want to make sure she's good. Why weren't you making sure she was good last week when you didn't help her take the stuff out the oven? Like, why weren't you making sure she was good when you didn't help her move her stuff
He seems to have issues with authority too,
with female authority?
because even his energy when he was like, no, no.
With female authority. I
And
think.
how old would you say Dr. Pia is? Would you say she's probably older than him a
Yeah,
little bit?
I would give her maybe 36,
Yeah, I would
35.
just not by much, but
Yeah.
enough to where like, oh, like it could be a sibling, but older. I don't know. I'm all for like
Yeah.
respecting people in those types of positions that even if I felt
Yeah.
a way, I would probably just have to like get through it.
And I think Dr. Pierre was very nice and she let him off the hook when she was like, I can see that there's care there. I disagree. I don't think there's care there. I think there's control there. And I think the only person he cares about is himself. And when he's like, oh, that's just her thinking face, like, let this grown woman speak. She can
She
let us know.
can.
She can confirm or deny. What did you think of Dr. Pia being like, I'm gonna recommend individual therapy
Well, I'm shocked that he didn't see that coming because he, after all of that, he claims to not know why or not have any words, not know anything. So
hmm
so you're sitting in front of, I think she's a therapist, if I'm not,
Yeah,
or
I
she's a
believe so.
counselor or something. What did you think was going to come next when all of a sudden you don't know how you feel, you don't know anything? Okay,
And
so the
that's
next step would be for you to have a session one on one
to help you
to help you get there.
express.
In your mind, you thought you were going to not know anything, not have any words, don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to stay in this marriage and do what?
And that's the
Torture this
thing.
girl?
Right, right. Uh I'm of two minds. Either he really is emotionless and that's scarier, or he knows exactly what he wants to say and what he's feeling. He's just refusing to communicate that.
I think
And
that's what it is.
I think
I
so.
don't think it's that he doesn't know. I
Yeah.
think he knows exactly what it is. And I'm not even fully buying what he said on the after party. I think he's had time to craft something that doesn't
Yeah.
seem too harsh,
Yeah.
because it doesn't make sense you would be doing all of this just because of what her dating history was, or if you felt like she wasn't taking it serious.
And she's open about her history. So you wouldn't be shaming her. Like she said all those things. And so this I think Brennan needs to understand, and they made a breakthrough on the after party where he recognized this, but I wrote it down before, so I'm gonna say it.
Mm.
But I said that him saying like there are no feelings there, I think he needs to realize that like feelings aren't just, oh, I love her, or I like her, or I want to be around her all the time. Feelings are also, I'm feeling reserved because she keeps talking about her history, or I am not feeling as much chemistry because of what, like, those are still feelings. They're not positive feelings, they're not romantic
Mhm.
feelings, but there are feelings of, okay, this person is cool, but I'm not feeling as if she's the right partner for me. So he needs to really reconcile what feelings are and try to express them more. But that's all that I have on them.
Oh,
I think they're
I
an
I was
awful
I
match.
never said what I thought I felt
Mhm.
or what I felt with Dr. Pia offered the individual therapy. I
Yes.
actually hollered.
Because it's like, dang, that's kind of rude, but also she's a therapist. So what do we expect her to
What
do?
he literally left her no other option. With
So hurt.
then
She's
you
like,
need
it's
a
not
one-on-one
happening.
follow.
Well, if you think the therapy, even when Emily was like, I think it's a good, well, it's not. Can you see why I'm getting frustrated? Yeah, because you need therapy and you don't want to get it. Like, what do
And what
you,
did he say? He's never going.
right? It's never happening. Boy,
And hopefully after this process, Emily will know, okay, I don't know if you want to enter into a marriage where someone is completely closed off to any type of individual therapy or counseling,
not
just
in
because you don't know what the
2023.
future
Mhm.
holds, even if you feel fine
Yeah.
today. But yeah, I holler. I was just like,
But yeah, that's it that I have on the. Let us know, please, in the comments what your thoughts are on the after party, and of course, what the episode, what they packaged for the
mhm,
episode. And we will see you guys tomorrow. We have a new podcast episode coming
yeah,
out, and we're finishing out Vlogmas next week. So go
yeah.
ahead and catch up, watch all the things that we've posted, and thank you guys so much for all of the support. We'll see
Mhm.
you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.